Hi, and welcome to this Introduction to the Leadership module for course coordinators. This video, if you're watching it, is specific to the lecturers and course coordinators for the leadership module. The reason we do this is because leadership is slightly different than some of the other subjects that you might be covering in your courses or with the Sanitation MSc. And so there's some key points I'd like to share with you from my experience in running this course in order to ensure a successful and enjoyable course for you and your students. So, key aspects to consider for this module. The first one is, it can be quite challenging for the students. What do I mean by this? There will be a lot of discussions about personal subjects and weaknesses and goals and dreams and things that get very emotional for some students. And so it's very important that you, as lecturer, ensure that you establish a space where our students feel safe and comfortable to express these things, because these are going to be some of the key moments in which they can grow as leaders. So for this, my recommendation for you is use the house rules. They are present in the first video for the students, but it's important that you remind them of this every day that you enter into a leadership process. And the key here is to highlight the fact that the space in which they're practicing leadership is both safe and confidential. That is, what happens in that room stays in that room. This will ensure that you create an atmosphere where your students feel comfortable and safe to explore and develop themselves as the future leaders that they will be. My second point is we use a self-awareness test from a partner university from ours that's based on profile dynamics. We're not sure if this is going to be available in your educational program, so I've listed a few online personality and self-awareness tests that you can use with your students. The value of these is that they help very strongly our students become more aware of their strengths and their weaknesses and what kind of things motivate them and what kind of environments they like to work in. And this is extremely valuable for them to be able to self-reflect and decide on the type of things they want to do as leaders. Take a look at these. I highly recommend you use them at the beginning of the module so the students get a sense of already going into themselves and trying to discover themselves a little bit more. The experiential learning, I'll cover this with the students as well, but just for you to highlight, 7-20-10 rule requires you that a lot of the time that you do on leadership is spent on experiential learning. And by this, I mean that there'll be a lot of activities where the students interact with one another, they discuss, they negotiate. And so it's very important, and it might seem a little counterintuitive initially, that you ensure that these activities have enough time for practice and reflection. It is vital that you give them the space that they require and tailor the course accordingly so that students have the time to work on these aspects and develop them further. Your role during this space, my suggestion is that you work on observing them in terms of seeing how they're relating with each other, seeing how they're relating with the exercise, and providing support if they're getting stuck, if they're going in a different direction. A lot of this experiential learning does depend on you artfully and skillfully making sure that you conduct the students in a way that fosters their growth. And finally, this is probably the trickiest one, and it might not be in your control, but it's something worth considering, which is leadership is not something that you develop in a single module, in a single week. It's something that happens over a longer period of time. So the way we've handled it here at IHE is that we've embedded it through our educational program. We've done leadership days and spread them out in different locations or blocks. We've implemented a coaching system for our students, a one-on-one coaching system where our students during the program do 4 individual coaching sessions to specifically work on the leadership aspects that they want. These combined, the coaching and the leadership days or blocks spread out to your program, will create a greater impact because it allows the students to keep returning and developing further their leadership skills as they learn the technical and social skills of the program. Finally, and this is perhaps where you can find your strongest win-win in this situation, the individual leadership development plan, which is an assignment for the students. You can tailor this so that their leadership development aligns with your educational program. What do I mean by this? There's part of this plan where they identify their strengths and weaknesses and prepare activities or projects on how they're going to develop them. So align this with your educational program, integrate it into it so that the students are at the same time developing the skills of your educational program and their leadership skills. Those are my main points for you. I hope that you will find this a very enjoyable and insightful module to work with your students, and I wish you the best of luck implementing it. Thank you.